Hey guys, long time no see. Today we are gonna do a how much does it cost to be an Ironman. Now, as you guys just saw, some people took issue with how much I spent. For those who did, I've got some bad news. You're not gonna like this video. So, dislike it, doors that way. But today, we're gonna go into how I spent over $18,000 on Ironmans. And I think the best way to split it up and for you guys to really understand how it all ended up being $18,000 is to break it down into beginner, Ironman finisher, and World Championship qualifier, which is what I'm trying to get to now. And those are the things that I purchased to get me there. Let's talk about beginner first. So beginner is everything you need to start to get into the sport. A lot of these items you're gonna be very familiar with. There's not gonna be a lot of surprises here. These are really the fundamentals. First thing you're gonna need, and we'll start off with swimming, goggles, $32 each. Next thing you're gonna need is a bathing suit. This costed me, I don't remember. I got this so long ago. Swim cap for me costed me $20. Next was a big purchase. That was my swim membership. So every single month I had to pay around $50 to use the public pools. And I did that since January. That cost me $572. That was mostly all the things that you need for your indoor swims. Now, when you start to get into your actual race season, you're gonna need a wetsuit. And for some races, you do need this. So that's why I say it is a beginner item. Heat of summer, you may not need this, okay? So it's an iffy one, but I would say for some races, you may need it. And for Penticton, it was a wetsuit swim. You couldn't swim without it, but we didn't end up having it, so. Next is a tri-suit. So what's really great about a tri-suit is you can use it in the water, you can use it on the bike, and you can also use it on your run. On it, you got a couple of pouches for your nutrition. You have a chamois, so it helps you when you're on the bike. You need it to do a triathlon. Do you need it to do a triathlon? Probably not. See, this is where it gets a little iffy, but
someone in your first video commented, definitely need a tri-suit.
Definitely need a tri-suit. To me, I think a tri-suit is because there's just so many changes you have to do for swimming, biking, and running. Having it just makes it so much easier. Wetsuit was $459. My tri-suit was $192. Now let's get into the beginner items you need on the bike side. The very first thing you're gonna need is a bike. That cost me $3,000. Next, now the thing with biking is there actually is a lot of things you need to get yourself on the road. You're gonna need to get yourself a pair of shoes. So these shoes costed me $123. Along with the shoes, you also need to get this yellow thing at the bottom, which is a cleat, and this connects to your pedal. And this costed me $49. Now the pedals we got on Facebook Marketplace, and that costed me $30. Now again, I'm just gonna make a reminder here. Some of the items I got new, some of the items I got used. Prices can skew depending on where I got it from. The next item that we got was a bike trainer. We got this one used. It's a TAC-X trainer, and I got that on Marketplace for $175. Now you really need this if you're doing indoor training. The next thing is I picked a helmet that I got on Marketplace. I got it for $200. These are some clothes that I also purchased, but we got a lot of bibs. And the reason I got many is because obviously like any types of clothing, they get worn out. And so I used two last year. This one was $115. This one was $50. This one was $50. And this one was $75. They are essential. It's comfortable, okay? Without it, it's gonna hurt. Guy or girl, it's gonna hurt. Definitely need a tire pump. I just didn't have one that went up to the PSI that I needed. That costed me $65. Last year, I also got water bottles for my bike, and so we put those on. That costed me $30. They're all in the trash now. I think I peed over all of them in the Ironman race, so I was like, new, we're going new. Next thing is cleaning supplies. When you go outdoors, your bike can get very messy. You wanna keep it clean. You paid so much for your bike, and these together costed me $40. Some other things when it comes to cleaning supplies is also lube. So we have dry lube and wet lube, and this is more for the health of your chain. You wanna make sure you always consistently clean your chain. Next, let's get into the running portion, and that would be just a pair of running shoes. These are the pair of running shoes that I used for starting out running. I used it for about a year. The next 3 things that I want to touch upon for beginners is you're gonna need gels. You're gonna need hydration. Nutrition is super important. For hydration, I was using these. I have so many boxes of these, and this costed me $275. And then I also got myself a lot of goo gels, and these costed me $46. These are the items you need as a beginner to complete your first triathlon. Okay, next, now we're gonna bring it to the items that I now use to get myself to Ironman Penticton. So let's go right back from the top, swimming. To help me with some of the drills, to practice for longer distances, to work on my form, I had paddles and I had a board and I had a buoy. These are the paddles I used, so these really help with my form. So I put these on during my workouts, practicing high elbow catch, practicing hand entry. These were very helpful. Board, simply I used for a lot of kicking. Pull buoy, that would isolate just for your arms, and you keep your legs at the top of the water. Next was body glide. That was to prevent chafing, especially when you're wearing your wetsuit, but you basically put it all around your neck, you put it in all the places that you would chafe. The paddles, they costed me $20. The board costed me $20. The pull buoy costed me $39.99, and the body glide cost me $15. The next item that I got was I got a snorkel. This snorkel over here is helpful to not focus on your breathing, to focus more on your arms, focus on your kicking. And this snorkel costed me $23.99. Okay, and last thing for swimming is I got myself one of these. Now these, at the start, you're like, what is this? But you need it when you swim outdoors. And so the reason you have it when you swim outdoors is because when you do open water swims and people can't see you, there can be boats, is that this is a really great way to keep it at the top. It's a very bright color, so that way if there's any boaters out, if there's other people around, they can very easily identify you, they can see you. $39.99. Okay, now let's move on to the bike. Now this is when it can get really, really expensive. First item, which honestly, I don't even think I need it. I thought it'd make me faster, but if I was back in that position and I wanted to cut cost, this is probably a place where I wouldn't have spent money on. And that would be on tri bars. I think they were helpful, they were really cool, I really wanted tri bars, but if I was to go back and save a little bit of money, I don't think I would have got them. And this costed me $501. The next things that we got a speed and cadence sensor. And so that I actually attached to my bike. And what it does is it gives me these readings through my bike computer, and it tells me how I'm doing. It tells me my speed, it tells me my cadence. So I actually didn't know what cadence was when I first started this, and cadence is just the number of rotations per minute. So typically in biking, you wanna at least get to 80 rotations per minute. And so that's why cadence is really helpful, because it tells you how fast you're going. It tells you if you should change gears. If you're at a low cadence, it means you're probably pushing really hard. If you're at a very high cadence, you may just be spinning out. And these are really helpful because it gives you accurate measurements as you're racing, as you're practicing. It tells you right away. So the next thing we'll go into is our indoor bike tire. So again, you can do an indoor trainer without an indoor tire. However, you're gonna ruin your tire. And so you get yourself an indoor bike tire. So it looks like this, and it's a lot more durable, and it's a lot more resistant to heat. Another thing I got, which is not really a tangible thing, is bike maintenance. So after I finished my Ironman Penticton, my bike was in shambles. So I just brought it back to the bike store and I got full maintenance done on it, cleaned up everything, basically back to brand new, and that costed me $226. This is a Wahoo computer. If you've ever done indoor bike riding and it gives you the power right on the front, think of this, that you put on your bike, and when you go out, it tells you everything. Speed, it told me my cadence, it told me the direction which I'm going. And this costed me $519. I should have gone Facebook Marketplace for this purchase, definitely, but you learn. You don't need it to start your first triathlon. Okay, so this you would put on the back of your bike, and you would connect a bottle cage right here and a bottle cage right here, and you just went from 2 water bottles to 4. The reason I put on the back is because it won't affect my aerodynamics. That was my thinking, and I thought if I can get 2 water bottles out of this, then I'm gonna get it. This costed me $69.99. That was everything for biking. As you can see, biking costs a shit ton of money. But let's now move into running. If you're gonna get to an Ironman level, you're gonna need to do a lot of kilometers a week. You're gonna have slow runs, you're gonna have fast runs, you're gonna have sprint days, you're gonna have intervals, and so you're gonna need different pairs of shoes. So let's go into the different types of shoes we got. First one right here is the Nike Alpha Fly Zoom Tempo Percent. They were really helpful for any of my speed workouts. They're really fast, they're carbon plated. These costed me $130. Along with it, we also got some slower shoes. In the first video, when I bring these out, they look brand new, and now you can see them. They have been through it. There is so many kilometers on this shoe. These are the Hoka Clifton 9s, $180. We did get more shoes, basically because the shoes that we've got now have been used, and so I wanted to build a bigger rotation of shoes. And so with that, we also got ourselves the Hoka Mach 6s. These were $132. These are awesome for slow runs. They're awesome for maybe even tempo, and they're really, really comfortable. Next, we got ourselves the Asics Nova Blasts. These are a great shoe. I love these shoes. They are not as comfortable as these ones. These ones are a little bit faster. They're very comfortable if I want to pick up the pace. So I really love these shoes for that. These costed me $107. The last running shoe I want to show is the Asics Hyperspeed. These I use for intervals. There's like no cushion on these. It's low to the ground, it's very flat, and I just use it to push.
Yeah, the drop is like very small.
It's very small. They were 110. Last thing for running is I got myself a running belt. So I would put this around my waist, and the reason you have this is because it's very easy to stick your bib on here, and this costed me $19.99. So we've gone through running, we've gone through biking. The last thing is nutrition. And so for nutrition, because I was doing the Ironman and I went through goos way too fast, they were hurting my stomach, I decided to level up and I got myself some Mortons. They got me through the Ironman. So I mean, you could probably use a goo, but for me, I really trust myself with these on race day rather than the goos. And like even these, so these are just more carbs that you would put into your water. These were really, really helpful. They came in clutch during the race day and I had absolutely no stomach problems. Those cost me $280. I really liked having sunglasses. They were $50. The next thing I want to bring up is actually my Coros Pace 3, and I love this thing. I did so much research in getting a watch. So this helped with swimming, biking, running, sleeping. They have the triathlon activity. They had duathlon activities if I wanted to practice. It tracked my recovery. It tracked how hard I was going every week to see if I could push even more. Overall, I loved it. I would highly recommend. Now this one's a tough one because I really had to get it because this race was in Penticton, but I got a bike bag as well. And that bike bag transported my bike from here all the way to Penticton. So we got ourselves the Sycon, and that costed me $240. Okay, that's it. That's everything for getting through Ironman. Last but not least, these are now going to be the items that I decided to purchase this year because of the goal that we have. We're going all in, and so these are items that I purchased, gave me my best chance to get me to sub 10. That is sub 10. That's crazy, dude. That just got out of my head again. First thing, you guys already saw it, tri-bike, $3,400. You actually go one size lower on a tri-bike. I didn't know that. So this bike is a size 56. My tri-bike is actually a size 54. I don't know who gave me that advice. Great advice. When I got it, it wasn't fit to me, so I had to go back to the 11 and they fit it for me and it costed me $236. Okay, next thing we're gonna get is the Wahoo Kicker Core. That is my new smart trainer. What I found with this trainer is that the tire kept popping and I had to keep rechanging it, and if every time I wanted to go out, I had to change the tire, I had to put a different one in. It was just too much work, and so I thought, let me just get a smart bike direct drive chain trainer. It's a lot more accurate, it's a lot less hassle. It's been helpful so far, I love it. The Wahoo Kicker Core was $600, and with it, it also came with a heart rate monitor, which is gonna bring the level of my running ideally a lot better because now I can know my zones and I stick to them. Very often, if you hear someone's doing zone 2, it's honestly challenging. You know, sometimes you want to do an ego run and you feel really good and you want to push hard. This kind of keeps me to, you know, stay in that zone, relax, take a break. The next item is a red light that tells you when cars are coming. So for me, this is an essential. It's safety, priorities number one. priority is number one. Safety is number one priority. Drivers can come by, and I think it's very important to know when they're coming. And to me, it was game changing. It's peace of mind. And so you don't need it to finish an Ironman. I assure you, if you get it, you're not gonna regret it. Trek Red Light, $300. Now, back with running still, we got ourselves a super shoe. They're designed to cut your time and to keep you fast. Hoka Cielo X1s. These cost me $350. These.
Explain, sorry, when I hear that, like that's a crazy number. Like I would never think like shoes could be that expensive. So like why, could you talk about why?
When you get the tech that comes with it, it being very light, being very responsive, being comfortable for 42 kilometers. When you factor all those in, that's really the price point at where these super shoes, these competitive racing shoes, that's really why it's expensive. With running and with cycling as well, I always want to listen to music. Need music sometimes, right? You're not going to be on your A game every time. You're going to need something to kind of get your mind off. And that's when I came across Shocks. The idea of Shocks, and I can actually bring them up, they're bone conduction headphones that send a signal through the bone. And what's great about these is you can hear the music but you're also aware of your surroundings, which is great for when you're cycling, which is great for when you're running. These costed me $200. I love these. Next, it is the Whoop. And so we actually talk about it in another video. Wow, look at me recommending videos for you guys to watch. I really wanted this because it was more of an in-depth analysis on my body, how I was feeling every day. Because you charge it on your body, it stays on your body throughout everything. They really index on the software. With it, they calculate how hard should you work out on your next workout, how much sleep you got, how much does that affect your next workout, how much more do you need to sleep tonight. And these were all small things that maybe I didn't think about last year that I'm honing in this year. It's very important to me. That cost me an annual subscription of $354. Next thing we'll go into is my gym membership. What I use it for now is indoor treadmills. I use it for strength workouts. I calculate it all up since last January was $390. The next thing that we got, I purchased the Training Peaks software platform. You guys could probably see it in the last video, but we got a coach. And that's a way for my coach to give me my workouts. I wake up in the morning and I know what workout I'm doing. I check my watch. And so Training Peaks is a membership. It's an application that I would log into. And that costed me $108 for an annual subscription. So far, I have spent $565 on coaching since November. So that costed a lot. The last thing, and you guys, this is gonna be the craziest number, registration. When you wanna do these races, there comes a price to just sign up. We did Gravenhurst. This was our first Olympic distance triathlon that we did last year. This cost $150. The next one was Muskoka, Ironman Muskoka. This was the half. We did this in July last year. This costed $452. Penticton, this costed $984. And you know what's funny? They didn't give me a 33% discount because I didn't do the swim. So Ironman, what's up? Lastly, and this is the last cost to this entire thing, is registering for Ironman Ottawa. It cost $1,124.67. Now, when you think about it, it's absurd that it's so much money. Like, obviously we know where the money's going. Getting all the food for us, closing down all these roads, marketing, sponsorships, I get it. But when you make the cost of entry so high, it just creates such a barrier for people. That $1,000 could have gone to my entire swim equipment and all my membership for swimming. So for people that are trying to get into the sport, it's very challenging if you're gonna wanna go from zero to Ironman. And I guess that's like obviously the biggest thing that I've noticed is just the cost of registering, right? It's really great though when you get all this equipment and you do your workouts and you have fun and you're putting yourself into this new hobby, this new interest, you're learning along the way, that's awesome. But there obviously is a huge price tag that comes along with it. And so I can say like 2024 was the greatest year of my life. Like we did this, it was game changing. It was eye-opening for me. I learned so much more than just the cost of $18,000. But to a point, it's still a lot of money that, you know, could have gone to something else. In reality, that's not just something anybody can just pick up and say, hey, tomorrow I want to do an Ironman, right? And There's just so many costs that come with it, and I hope that this was helpful as a breakdown. If you want to kill me for what I spent, do it, but ultimately I just wanted to show you guys what I spent my money on. You spend your money in your ways, I spend it on mine.
And we all are trying to achieve the same goal.
Yeah, we're all trying to just achieve the same goal of just, getting better. When you think of Ironmans, you think of the cost. You also think about the ups and downs. You think about the learning. You think about the happiness, the joy of crossing that finish line. I mean, is 18K worth it? I don't know. I mean, I've learned so much about myself. Maybe I could have done it from a $1,000 cooking class or something, but I don't know. This is my way of expressing myself, of doing things that I like. And so I picked a very expensive sport. I picked a very expensive hobby, but I'm glad to be in it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Like and subscribe.
Don't comment.
Yeah, don't comment. Just for my mental health, don't comment.